Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Well, it's forefront of the news as it should be, the rise of domestic violence against women. And now the New South Wales Government has announced a $230 million prevention initiative. What does this mean? Where exactly is that money going? To talk us through this is the Minister for Women, Jodie Harrison. Good morning.
Morning, Amanda.
So, $230 million, can you specify what your directives have been as to where this should go?
Absolutely. We have, this is actually the first phase of what is going to be an ongoing series of improvements that we're making to the support that we give domestic and family violence victim survivors, and also dealing with perpetrators effectively. So the $230 million package goes to crisis response, $48 million to improve the supports that we give to victim survivors so that they can stay in their homes safely with technological improvements and security upgrades. We're going to improve the justice system for victims. We're going to put $38 million into New South Wales' first dedicated primary prevention strategy. That's a really key part because we haven't been doing that in New South Wales.
And
what does that mean?
Minister, just with that, so the bail laws, that is probably that's the glaringly obvious thing. So what money would go into the bail laws? Because I think most people just don't understand how a serial offender can beat up a woman and then get released on bail. In what world is a judge thinking, or the court registrar or whoever's doing it is thinking, well, that's okay, I'm going to let this guy back out into the community. So that money, I would say, as a layman here, would be going into strengthening our bail laws, or perhaps if there's not a court judge in regional areas on a weekend, getting one in there so he can lock these bastards away.
Absolutely, and that is a totally legitimate question that people have, and it's actually a question that we have as government as well. So there's a review currently underway, but we have put aside $45 million to improve our justice system responses to domestic violence, and that will include any changes that need to be made in relation to bail laws.
I do a podcast with a forensic psychologist, and she said that her job is to work with these offenders. And she said, what we're doing is pulling bodies out downstream. We need to work further upstream. You mentioned working with offenders. Is that this prevention work you're talking about?
There's a range of things that we need to do further upstream. That the person that you know is absolutely spot on. We spend 85% of our budget in domestic and family violence in New South Wales on the crisis end. And obviously that is not working. In Victoria and Queensland, they spend much more money in the prevention work, and that is about teaching people how to be respectful, working with community groups about how to raise issues in relation to what is an appropriate comment to make, because disrespect, domestic violence is always preceded by disrespect, always. So we need to do more work in primary prevention, working with our children, our community groups, and also really stepping in just as the first signs appear. So that early intervention.
Because there are signs.
And we're seeing it. Would you agree with those boys at that school having that list of those girls, and they put that out? So the thing in the old days, that's probably been going on for a long time.
They listed the attractiveness and
but now,
sexual nature of girls.
But these boys are being held to account for that. So in a way, I feel that we're getting there. People are sort of seeing what's happening here, but we've got to move quicker on this.
Well, that's
the internet's accelerating everything.
And there are known markers for stalkers, for harassment. It's about everyone recognising what those markers are and acting sooner. Is that part of this too?
It's absolutely part of it. That the dedicated primary prevention strategy will be working in our schools, within our sporting groups, within our corporations to actually help people to understand how to have those conversations to stop inappropriate behaviours which don't always lead to domestic and family violence, but domestic and family violence is always preceded by them.
Well, Minister, thank you for joining us.
Yes, good luck with all of that.
Yes.
We all hope that helps.
Thank you. It's a big job, but we're totally up to it.
Good day. Minister Jodie Harrison, I should say.